There are moments in life when you start to wonder why things happen the way they do. Why do some doors close just when you thought you were ready? Why do people walk away when you needed them most? And why does life feel heavier for you than it does for others? But what if I told you? It's not because you're cursed, it's because you're chosen. When God chooses someone, He doesn't announce it with trumpets or celebrations. He reveals it quietly, through tests, through isolation, and through the uncomfortable moments that shape your spirit. There are signs, divine signs, that prove you are not like the rest. You've been handpicked for something higher. Let's talk about these 7 signs. Purpose isn't something you stumble upon one morning. It's not hidden behind a corner or waiting for you in a book, a job, or a conversation. Purpose is revealed, not discovered. And it's revealed in the fire, in the pressure, and in the pain. Every challenge, every setback, every heartbreak is an invitation to understand who you are meant to become. It's easy to think that purpose arrives wrapped in clarity and confidence, but in truth, it shows up disguised as struggle. The moments you least expect are the ones that shape you most deeply. When life hits hard, your first instinct is to ask why? Why me? Why now? Why this? But what if that question isn't meant to be answered? What if it's meant to be transformed into something greater? Not, why is this happening to me? But what is this trying to teach me? Because purpose never reveals itself in comfort. It speaks through the lessons hidden inside discomfort. Every disappointment, every delay, every closed door carries a piece of the bigger picture. You just can't see it while you're standing in the middle of the storm. Struggle isn't a detour from your purpose. It's the very road that leads you to it. The world will tell you to avoid pain, to chase only what feels good, to take the easiest route. But purpose doesn't live there. Purpose is found in the moments that stretch you, in the tears you didn't plan to cry, in the nights you thought you couldn't make it to morning. It's built quietly while no one is watching. It's refined in the silence where you wrestle with your doubts. The truth is, the process that feels like it's breaking you is the very one that's building you. You can't understand your strength until life demands it. You can't see your resilience until you're tested. And you can't discover your purpose until you've walked through the kind of struggle that forces you to question everything, your plans, your beliefs, even your worth. But once you pass through that fire, something powerful happens. You emerge not as who you were, but as who you were meant to be. The struggle reveals layers of yourself you didn't know existed. It strips away the illusions, the noise, the false identities, until what's left is pure, purpose in its most authentic form. So many people spend their lives searching for purpose in achievements, titles, or validation. They chase recognition, thinking that if they just succeed enough, they'll finally feel fulfilled. But fulfillment doesn't come from accomplishment. It comes from alignment. It comes from understanding that what you've been through wasn't random, it was required. Every moment that didn't make sense then was shaping your ability to serve now. Purpose is what remains after everything temporary has fallen away. It's the truth that rises once all distractions have burned off in the fire of struggle. When you start to see your pain differently, you begin to see your purpose clearly. The betrayal that broke you taught you trust. The failure that crushed you taught you persistence. The loss that silenced you taught you compassion. Nothing was wasted. Every scar carries wisdom. Every wound carries direction. You don't find purpose when life is perfect. You find it when life forces you to rebuild. And every time you rise from the ground, you rise with more clarity about why you're here. Your purpose is not waiting somewhere ahead of you. It's being shaped in this very moment. It's being revealed with every decision you make to keep going. It's being written every time you choose growth over comfort. Every time you turn pain into progress, every time you refuse to give up. The struggle isn't the enemy, it's the sculptor. It's carving out your strength, your wisdom, your empathy, your voice. You may not understand it right now. You may be standing in the middle of chaos wondering where this path leads. But one day you'll look back and realize that the moments you called painful were the moments that defined you. You'll see that purpose was never something you had to find. It was something you had to live through. Every trial revealed a piece of it. Every obstacle uncovered a truth. And through the struggle, God was whispering the same message all along. You were never lost. You were simply being shaped for something greater. Being chosen doesn't mean being comfortable. It means being called into something greater than convenience, something deeper than ease. When you are chosen, life will not let you settle. The ground beneath you will keep shifting, not to destroy you, but to develop you. Comfort keeps you still, but calling forces you to move. And that movement, though uncomfortable, is where transformation happens. Being chosen means that you will be stretched, tested, and refined until every part of you aligns with the purpose you were created for. People often mistake divine favor for a life of peace and stability. But if you look closely, those chosen for greatness have always walked through storms before they found strength. They faced rejection before recognition, pain before purpose, and isolation before impact. The truth is, being chosen sets you apart, and separation is rarely comfortable. You'll be asked to let go of people habits and places that once defined your sense of belonging. You'll find yourself standing alone while others are celebrating together. It will hurt, but that pain is sacred. It's the signal that you're being positioned for something beyond the ordinary. When God chooses you, He removes you from the crowd so that you can see differently. He breaks the patterns that kept you small. And yes, it feels unfair at times. You'll wonder why your path seems harder, why your journey feels heavier. But chosen souls aren't given comfort, they're given capacity. Your struggles are proof that your destiny carries weight. Comfort may soothe you, but it will never shape you. Growth demands friction, and purpose requires pressure. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. It's easy to envy the ones who seem to have it all together, whose paths look smooth while yours feel scattered. But understand this, the chosen are refined through chaos. What looks like confusion from the outside is actually divine construction from within. Every delay is designing your strength. Every disappointment is deepening your faith. Every challenge is chiseling away what doesn't belong in your next chapter. Being chosen means being called to trust without full understanding. It means walking by faith when nothing makes sense, and still believing that everything is working for your good. The discomfort of being chosen comes from the space between what you were and who you are becoming. It's that tension that teaches you to depend on something greater than yourself. The dreams you carry will often seem impossible, and that's exactly how it should be. Because if your calling didn't scare you, it wouldn't require faith. The uncertainty you feel isn't failure. It's proof that you're stepping into something divine. You weren't created for a predictable life. You were created for a meaningful one. There will be days when you want to quit, when the weight of your journey feels unbearable. But remember this, chosen people don't collapse under pressure, they are crafted by it. The discomfort you feel is evidence of transformation. Just as a diamond forms under immense pressure, your potential is being forged through the intensity of your challenges. Every tear, every test, every trial is shaping you into someone unshakable. You may not see it now, but this discomfort is your greatest teacher. Being chosen also means being misunderstood. People may question your path, your decisions, your silence. They won't see the private battles, the late-night prayers, or the sacrifices that keep you grounded. And that's okay. You're not meant to be understood by everyone. The path of purpose is often walked alone because clarity doesn't come from applause, it comes from alignment. Your solitude is sacred space, the place where vision is born. There's a divine irony in the process. The more uncomfortable life becomes, the more aligned you are with your calling. The very things that make you question your strength are the things revealing it. Every obstacle is an invitation to rise higher. Every disappointment is a reminder that comfort was never your destination. You were never meant to fit into what's easy. You were meant to grow through what's difficult. So if you're in a season of discomfort, don't run from it. Lean in. Trust that the pain you feel is not punishment. It's purpose in progress. You're being molded, refined, and equipped for something your current comfort could never prepare you for. The road of the chosen is narrow because it leads somewhere extraordinary. Every step, no matter how hard, is taking you closer to the reason you were called in the first place. Being chosen doesn't promise ease, it promises evolution. It strips away everything false until only truth remains. It breaks you open so your light can finally shine through. And while the journey may not be comfortable, it is sacred because every ounce of discomfort is proof that you're becoming who you were always meant to be. Delay is not denial, it's divine alignment. It's the quiet pause between your desire and your destiny, the sacred waiting room where purpose is being arranged behind the scenes. You see, when things don't happen according to your timeline, it's easy to assume that life has forgotten you, that God has closed the door, or that your dream wasn't meant to be. But what if the delay isn't rejection at all? What if it's protection, preparation, and positioning all happening in silence while you're learning patience in the stillness? So often we confuse the pause with the end. We think slow means no. But divine timing doesn't move at human speed. What feels late to you might be right on time in a bigger plan. When you are chosen for something significant, the process will never be rushed. The world might reward quick results, but God works through refinement. He isn't interested in giving you something you're not ready to sustain. He's not withholding your blessing. He's building your capacity to handle it. Delay is not the absence of progress. It's the assurance that your next step will be meaningful. Every delay carries a hidden message. Wait, I'm preparing something better. But the challenge is trusting this truth when everything inside you wants to move. The waiting season can feel heavy. You'll watch others succeed while you're still standing in place, and it will test your faith. You'll question your worth, your timing, and even your path. Yet in that space of uncertainty, something powerful is happening. You're learning surrender. You're learning to release control. And in doing so, you're aligning yourself with divine order, not human urgency. There's a rhythm to destiny. Every dream has its season, and forcing it to bloom early only weakens its roots. Imagine planting a seed today and demanding fruit tomorrow. It's absurd, yet that's exactly what we do with our goals and prayers. We want harvest without patience, breakthrough without preparation. But real transformation takes time. The delay is the soil where your faith grows deep enough to carry the weight of your calling. If success came instantly, it would disappear just as quickly. The wait is what gives it meaning. Many people mistake waiting for stagnation, but waiting is not passive, it's preparation in motion. The waiting room is not empty time, it's sacred time. It's where your character catches up to your calling. It's where your heart is purified from ego, where your motives are tested, where your strength is quietly built. The silence is not absence, it's instruction. You are being equipped in unseen ways. The lessons you learn now will become the foundation for what's coming next. Think of every great story. Before elevation, there's always a season of delay. Before the victory, there's a period of invisibility. The world may overlook you, but that's where grace does its best work. What feels like delay to you is often divine timing protecting you from premature exposure. You may not be ready for the weight of what you're praying for. The people you'll need aren't in position yet. The resources you'll depend on haven't been prepared. The timing isn't wrong, it's just not complete. Alignment requires everything and everyone to be in place before the blessing arrives. In moments of delay, your faith becomes your anchor. You learn to trust what you cannot see. You stop chasing speed and start seeking alignment. You realize that what you thought was a setback was really synchronization. Life isn't withholding your dreams, it's orchestrating them in ways you can't comprehend. The waiting season is not punishment, it's choreography. Every slow step is moving in perfect rhythm with a divine plan. The hardest part is believing this when nothing makes sense. When you're praying and hearing silence, when you're giving your all and seeing no results, when every door seems to stay shut, that's when faith becomes real. That's when you learn that the universe doesn't operate on your schedule. That's when you discover the depth of trust that only waiting can teach. Delay refines your patience, and patience refines your spirit. One day, everything will align so effortlessly that you'll look back and realize why it couldn't happen sooner. The connections, the timing, the wisdom, all of it will make sense. You'll see that every moment of waiting was necessary. The delay was never a detour, it was direction. It was grace disguised as frustration. It was your path unfolding in perfect rhythm, not your rhythm. So don't rush what needs time to grow. Don't curse the pause that's protecting you from what's premature. What feels delayed is only being divinely aligned. Trust that the silence is sacred, the stillness is strategic, and the waiting is working for you, not against you. Delay is not denial. It's the divine assurance that what's meant for you is being perfectly prepared. And when it finally arrives, it will be worth every moment you waited. The weight you carry is proof of the assignment you've been given. The heaviness you feel, the battles that seem endless, the responsibilities that stretch you beyond what you think you can bear, they're not accidents, they are signals of purpose. Every burden has meaning. Every struggle points to a calling. You are not overwhelmed because you are weak. You are overwhelmed because you have been entrusted with something sacred, something that demands strength most people wouldn't understand. The very fact that life asks so much of you is evidence that you are capable of more than you realize. When life places a heavy load on your shoulders, it's easy to believe something is wrong. You start wondering if you've taken the wrong path or missed a sign along the way. But sometimes the heaviest paths are the right ones. The greater the assignment, the greater the pressure that comes with it. The weight isn't there to crush you, it's there to carve you. It's shaping you into someone who can hold what you've been called to carry. If the journey were light, the lesson would be shallow. But because your purpose is deep, the process must be heavy. You may look around and wonder why others seem to move effortlessly while you struggle to take one more step. You see people living without the intensity that follows you, and it can make you question why your life feels harder. But that's what happens when you are called to lead, to build, to influence, to create change. You are being trained for a mission that requires endurance. The people you envy may not have the same assignment, and therefore they don't need the same preparation. What feels like an unfair load is actually custom fitted to your purpose. Every great purpose comes with its own kind of weight. The weight of responsibility, the weight of leadership, the weight of resilience, the weight of empathy. You carry what you carry because someone must. You bear the tension that others avoid. You face battles that others run from. And you keep going, not because it's easy, but because something inside you knows quitting isn't an option. That something is your assignment calling you forward, even when your strength is fading. The heaviness is not punishment, it's permission. It's the universe's way of saying, you were made for this. Pressure is proof of potential. Diamonds are born under it, leaders are shaped by it, and faith is strengthened through it. If life were light, there would be no reason to grow. The weight you carry is building endurance, teaching patience, and expanding your capacity. Each time you choose to stand under pressure, instead of running from it, you grow a little stronger. Each time you refuse to give up, you prove that the weight cannot win. The challenges you face are not breaking you, they're proving you. They're confirming that your assignment is real, valuable, and impactful. There will be moments when the weight feels unbearable, when your heart grows tired and your mind whispers, why me? But the answer lies in the strength you've already shown. You've made it through storms that should have drowned you. You've carried pain that would have crushed others. You've walked through fire and still found a way to smile. That's not coincidence, that's calling. You've been equipped to carry more because you are meant to influence more. The greater the destiny, the heavier the responsibility that comes with it. The weight is teaching you trust. It's reminding you that you were never meant to carry it alone. Sometimes the purpose of the burden is to draw you closer to the source of your strength. When you feel like you can't carry it anymore, that's when grace steps in. You learn that your true power doesn't come from control. It comes from surrender. You discover that every moment of weakness is an invitation to rely on something greater than yourself. The weight breaks your pride, but it builds your faith. It humbles you enough to realize that even strength is a gift. When you finally understand this, the weight doesn't get lighter. You just grow stronger beneath it. You begin to see it differently. You stop asking for the load to be removed and start asking for shoulders strong enough to bear it. You stop resenting the challenges and start respecting what they're building within you. You realize that every sleepless night, every silent prayer, every tear shed in exhaustion has been part of your preparation. The weight is not a mistake, it's a message. It's telling you that your life matters too much to remain ordinary. So carry your weight with courage. Let it remind you that you're trusted with something eternal. Let it strengthen your resolve to keep moving forward even when the path feels steep. The weight you carry is the signature of your divine assignment. It's the evidence that you were chosen not for ease, but for endurance. And one day when you look back, you'll understand that every burden was a blessing in disguise, shaping you for the very purpose you were born to fulfill. Doors that close are often God's way of protecting you. It doesn't always feel like protection at first. When something you hope for slips away, when a plan collapses, or when someone walks out of your life without warning, it feels like loss. It feels unfair, confusing, and painful. But sometimes the very things you're crying over are the things that could have broken you had they stayed. Every closed door carries a message that only makes sense with time. What looks like rejection in the moment often reveals itself as redirection later. You think something ended, but in truth, something better began. We live in a world that glorifies access, opportunity, and expansion. We're taught to chase every open door, to fight for every chance, to believe that more always means progress. But divine wisdom works differently. Not every door is meant to open. Some are meant to close so that you can find the path that truly belongs to you. God sees what you cannot. He sees the motives hidden behind opportunities, the consequences of choices that appear harmless, and the pain waiting behind the doors you were never meant to walk through. So when a door shuts, it isn't to punish you. It's to protect you from what could have destroyed your peace, your purpose, or your future. It's human nature to try to pry open doors that have closed. We beg, we plead, we push, we force because we're convinced that what's behind them is what we need. But every time we do that, we forget one simple truth. What's truly meant for you will never require begging. If it's yours, it will open effortlessly, naturally, and in divine timing. If it's not, it will resist, not because you're unworthy, but because you're being guided elsewhere. Closed doors are not signs of your inadequacy, they're signs of divine intervention. They're reminders that even in disappointment, you are being guided by grace. Think back to moments in your life when something didn't work out. Maybe it was a relationship that fell apart, a job you didn't get, a plan that failed. At the time, it felt devastating. You questioned your worth and wondered why God allowed it to happen. But later, when the pain softened and the truth surfaced, you realized that if that door had stayed open, you would have settled for less than what you were created for. You would have been stuck in something that wasn't aligned with your purpose. Every closed door carried protection disguised as disappointment. Closed doors also teach you to trust. When everything goes your way, you never develop faith. It's only when life interrupts your plans that you learn to surrender your need for control. The moment a door shuts, you face a choice, to panic or to trust, to believe that life is falling apart or to believe that it's falling into place. And trust is the bridge that carries you from confusion to clarity. It doesn't eliminate the pain, but it gives it purpose. It turns your waiting into wisdom and your disappointment into direction. There are doors that close because your growth no longer fits what's inside. Some endings are not rejections, they are graduations. You've outgrown the level you once prayed for. You've become someone who can't fit into the spaces that used to define you. So when life begins to move people, jobs, or opportunities away from you, don't chase what's leaving. Let it leave. Because every time a door closes, it's making room for something higher, something that matches the version of you that's emerging. You can't walk into your next chapter if your hands are still clinging to the last one. Closed doors also protect timing. Sometimes you're ready for the dream, but the dream isn't ready for you. Or sometimes what you're asking for is good, but your foundation isn't strong enough to hold it yet. The door stays shut because it's saving you from premature success, the kind that looks beautiful at first but collapses without preparation. When a door closes, it's not the end of the story, it's the pause that gives the story meaning. You may not see the full picture now, but one day you'll thank God for every door that didn't open when you wanted it to. So the next time a door closes, don't curse it. Don't fight it. Stand still long enough to see the hidden grace inside it. You might not understand it now, but your future self will. The heartbreak, the loss, the rejection, all of it was guidance disguised as grief. The doors that closed didn't take away your path, they redirected it towards something far greater. And when the right door finally opens, you'll walk through it with peace instead of desperation, gratitude instead of regret, and wisdom instead of confusion, knowing that every no you once feared was actually love protecting you all along. You are not lucky, you are chosen. The things that worked out for you, the moments when everything seemed to fall into place just in time, the opportunities that appeared when you least expected them, none of it was luck. It was alignment. It was purpose unfolding exactly as it was meant to. Luck is random, but what's been happening in your life is intentional. There's a divine design behind every open door, every narrow escape, and every silent breakthrough. You didn't stumble into your destiny by accident. You were guided, protected, and prepared for it long before you even knew what it was. When you live as if you're lucky, you give credit to chance. But when you understand that you're chosen, you give credit to purpose. Being chosen means that your life isn't just a series of coincidences. It's a carefully woven story of preparation, perseverance, and faith. You've been placed in situations that stretched you, in relationships that tested you, and in seasons that refined you. You didn't always understand why things happened the way they did, but now you can look back and see the pattern. The detours made sense, the delays had meaning, and the disappointments turned into direction. You were being guided not by luck, but by design. Being chosen doesn't mean your path will be easy. In fact, it often means the opposite. You'll face more challenges, carry heavier burdens, and walk roads others will never understand. Because chosen people are not built in comfort, they're forged in struggle. You had to be broken in certain ways so you could hold more compassion, lead with more humility, and love with more depth. The hardships you faced weren't punishments, they were assignments. They shaped you into someone strong enough to carry the calling placed upon you. The reason life feels heavier for you than for others is because your purpose carries more weight. Luck doesn't explain the times you should have fallen but didn't. It doesn't explain the peace that met you in your darkest moments or the strength that came out of nowhere when you needed it most. That wasn't luck. That was grace. You were being held when you thought you were forgotten. You were being carried when you thought you were alone. There are moments when everything could have gone wrong, but somehow it didn't. That's not randomness. That's divine protection. You are chosen, and chosen souls are covered even when they don't realize it. The world may call it luck when doors open, but chosen people know the truth. Those doors didn't open by chance, they opened by calling. Every opportunity you've had, every person who appeared at the right time, every step that seemed uncertain but worked out anyway, all of it was orchestrated. You were never walking blindly. You were being led by something greater than yourself. And the more you begin to trust that truth, the less you'll depend on luck to define your success. Being chosen also means you've been given responsibilities that others may never understand. You carry vision, empathy, and purpose in ways that set you apart. You feel things deeply because you're meant to heal deeply. You notice pain in others because you're meant to help them rise. You can't live a shallow life because your soul was never meant for small things. You were built to impact, to inspire, to lead, to bring light into places that forgot what light feels like. That's not luck. That's calling. And calling always comes with a cost. There are moments when you'll feel unworthy of being chosen. You'll question why you were picked when others seem more qualified or confident. But being chosen has nothing to do with perfection, it has everything to do with purpose. You are chosen because you carry something unique. A voice, a story, a perspective that no one else can replicate. You don't have to be flawless to be chosen, you just have to be willing. The ones who think they're unworthy are often the ones most ready, because humility keeps their purpose pure. You are not here by chance. You didn't survive everything you've survived just to call it luck. You've been guided by divine timing, shaped by divine purpose, and carried by divine grace. Every closed door was protection. Every open one was preparation. Every moment in between was alignment. The pattern of your life isn't accidental, it's intentional. And the more you recognize that, the more peace you'll find in the process. So stop calling yourself lucky. You are not the result of coincidence. You are the result of careful orchestration. Everything about you, your gifts, your pain, your timing, was chosen for a reason. You were never meant to blend in with randomness. You were meant to walk with purpose. You were never lucky. You were chosen, and that truth is far more powerful than anything luck could ever give you.